All right, gentlemen. Thank you for joining the call. If Arash is not on by
Yes,
now,
I am. I'm here.
You are already. Wow. So much happening. I'm heading. He's already there, but San Jose and San Francisco this weekend. So anyone out there, you gotta come see us. It's gonna be absolutely mind-blowing. We just did one here in LA. And without any further ado, I would say we're going to launch into questions as soon as possible. I want you guys to make as much progress as possible, as rapidly as can be. I hear a lot of sounds in the background. It's super simple, guys. You simply press *6 and it will mute your line, and you press *6 again to unmute when it's time to take a question. So, exercisal consideration. It's always nice to also bring a touch of sophistication, no matter how much of a badass you are, and we appreciate that. The line is clear. I'll just say that because I know that by now everybody on the call knows Arash, but time and time again, when I heard him on Friday evening, it was no less than instantaneous healing. I mean it. The impact is so immediate, it is so sharp, that you got to be ready and receptive. So, Arash, what's up today?
What about it, Vince? You got cut out.
All right. So, I'm here. Arash, what do you say? We take questions right away, or you want to give it a little intro?
Well, let's talk. Let's take a moment and, first of all, can you hear me?
I can hear you good now, yes.
Perfect. Let's take a moment and acknowledge this weekend that we did, which was, 2 days ago? Was that just 2 days ago I was there? Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like less and more at the same time.
Isn't that crazy? It seems like it was like an hour ago, but it seems like it was a month ago at the same time. But anyways, it was really good because what I see is happening is there's a separation being created between the true students of this art form, the individuals who are starting to get that maybe there is something here. And I think that is one of the problems, is that a lot of times people mistake thinking that, oh, this is like you say one word to a girl or you do a gesture and you get the girl. And they miss that this is quite a science. And after the science, it's an art form. And this is something that has to be understood. The science has exact tests that you can do to get the results, right? You experiment, you do the test, you get the same results. And if 10 people with the same experiment, they would get the same results. Art, on the other hand, doesn't have rules. Art has one basic idea, which is it's beautiful, and people like it. That's art. Music, drawing, literature, anything. And what's fascinating about what we do is that, first of all, it's a science because many different people can do the experiment and get the same results. But after you learn the science, then it becomes an art form. And then you put in your own flavor onto the science, and you become the artist life. You become the artist, production artist, pickup artist, social dynamic artist. So I'm starting to see like the same group of individuals that are investing more and more time and energy and money and their spirit into it are starting to get better and better results. And so I think that was very exciting for me to see that who I'm going to be spending my time and my energy on are the people that are actually putting in their time and energy in return. So that was very exciting, and I'm ready to do it again today.
Awesome. Well, the thought came to mind. It's a trinity or a triad. The promise, the magic, and the real reality. I explain each one. This community started with a huge promise.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the word.
Fed beautiful women, no matter who you are and what you look like. Marketers jumped on board because it's a pretty fucking awesome concept and need. The magic, very few have delivered. Very few. Because it takes an insane amount of work and dedication and trial and error and refinement. And it takes also a daringness and a sense of adventure because you got to go where no one has gone before, pave the way, and it can be risky. You know, once Matador on a call similar to this one said about me, he said, you know what? Vince Kelvin has fucking risked his own personal life so many times over and got so many punch and scars to establish the ground. And I never thought of it that way, but when he said it, I was like, that's so fucking true, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I've let go of many women, many wives, just so I could honor the art and the science as Arash described it. And then came a point where I was a little fed up with that huge promise, and I wanted to deliver and live it, you know? Get laid like a rock star, on tour, have a harem, fed bisexual women, porn stars, find the love of your life, if there is such thing, you know, but at least get a glimpse of that experience. And I did it, and I did it in a way that was like sketching, you know. It wasn't perfect, but I fucking did it. And others did it, you know, Bad Boy, Hypnotica, Rash often refers to him as the third wizard, lived it, done it, and the rest got stuck in the promise, and sometimes got close to deliver, sometimes not, created a lot of turmoil and so on. And then I came across the work of Arash Bazaar. And it's like a whole different rendition, you know. I felt like, wow, you know what? That's like, that's it. The quality is there and everything, so that's impressive. And then we passed the inspiration, and now I'm like, again, at a whole new level. And my new mission is just like, you know, to really have it just be and happen. And then there is the real reality, meaning it is within reach, but the way you get there is by no longer just operating only from the promise, which will deviate you from the magic, and not being in the false reality. The false reality, you talk to one girl and she says no and you're devastated, and you talk to another one and she says yes, and you're on top of the world for a brief moment, and you're becoming basically addicted to women in the worst way, and you're enhancing bipolarity, and you're not the leader. You're just at the mercy of trying to fill a void in a gap. The real reality, and I did a video today that's a great example of that, is that to really get good, you need the most optimal mindset and constantly optimize it. And so that's, personally, I turn to Arash Bazaar, because not only it is the most optimal, but it's also constantly optimized. Every lecture, every talk. Some days we did like 2 talks back to back on the phone with different speakers. And in between, time happened, and when I heard him again, I was like, wow, that's even better than what I heard an hour ago. And then you need a protocol to really have skills and to know how to work them. And the secret is to work them steadily, with full devotion, dedication to the best of your ability, and never slack off and never do less than you did the day before, completely independently from women. So today I film a video, and you see me first throw those little comments at anyone who fucking passes by. And in the eye of the newbie or the hater, he'd be like, he didn't even respond. What they don't understand what is being done, you build a fire. What are you going to do? When you build a fire, you're going to take the little leaves, you're going to take little pieces of wood, you are going to take matches, and you're going to take some paper, you know? And that is not like really what makes a consistent, beautiful fire, you know? And sometimes it kind of stinks a little bit. So that's just to get started, to get the ball rolling. And I don't give a shit who they are, what they think, if they participate or not. It's just to get the ball rolling. Then you notice that some interactions become very interesting. If you pay attention only to me, you go, wow, you have phenomenal ideas. I say things like, I rekindled one of my favorites today, which is like, in a parallel reality right now. Oh, you're so fucking sexy. And I'm not really saying it because it's a parallel reality. But if you pay attention to the girls, you realize they're really not that exciting and interesting. And I give a lot, and they go like, yeah, And a guy could easily think, oh, man, it's not working, I'm not hooking. And but that's not it. That's not even the fucking point. The point is you need someone to get good. So there's two girls, and I test them. I don't judge myself based on their responses. I judge them based on their responses, and it's not a harsh judgment. It's just, is it worth my time? Is this girl going to be great in bed? Probably not. She cannot even answer a fucking question. Can you imagine her in bed making love? No. Or her as a lover? Wow, that'd be so fucking boring. And then at a time when, there were a few of those, suddenly a little magic happens, and there's a little girl. She had a boyfriend, so I do things like, thank God you have a boyfriend. Anyway, I'm a fucking player. I probably spoke to your roommates anyway, and so on. But it's a wonderful demonstration of how you really work it, and I complete here, and we take the first question and pass it to Arash because he's been patient, listening. And I said no introduction, then I go into this long introduction, but I really wanted to share that today, and it finally came out. So you follow that pace, you follow that path. You constantly go for the best fucking mindset and reference of possibilities. Mind-blowing, Arash stuff, mind-blowing. Then after that, I come in to help, and it's the real reality that can fulfill the process, the promise, and bring you the magic. But that's how it happens. It doesn't happen where you learn one thing in a book and you go and every woman is melting for you out there, because most women are not ready. Even if we were to pay them and say, melt for this guy, really show us what it's like when you're really attracted, they couldn't do it. They would need training to do it. But then you hang in there, you remain neutral, unmoved, unshaken, and you focus only on one thing. Am I doing more? Two guys yesterday at a boot camp told me, I sent them on their own for a little bit because I wanted them to not have the pressure of me around. So after a couple hours, I said, now you guys do 15 minutes on your own. They came back. I said, how did it go? And they said, no, I didn't even say how did it go because I don't even ask that question. But they said like, oh, it was great, but no result yet. And I said, what do you mean, no result? No woman gave anything. I said, that's the wrong way to measure results. You measure results with one question. Were you willing to take a step to the best of your ability, and after that, were you willing to make the next step at least a little bit better? And for as long as you do that, success is coming guaranteed. All right, so we're on. First question goes to Arash, and then I'll pitch in. What would you like to ask tonight? You say your name, city you're calling from, and a clear question.
Hey guys,
yes, my name is Armando from Roswell, New Mexico. I got a question about.
That's like a triple induction right there, guys. One name stuck. Even if you were not the first one, everybody will get a chance. When we say next question, the two other that were speaking, you'll go first. I heard Roberto or something like that.
Yes, Armando. Correct? Yes, my name is Armando from Roswell, New Mexico. Thank you very much. I got a question that kind of alluded to what you spoke tonight, and a little bit what Rush spoke about the science and how a lot of students were people that kind of depended on the reaction of the woman. And they're not coming from a place of, and I guess I'll speak for myself, they're always coming from a place of certainty or security. Maybe there's a little bit of neediness or desperateness in that. And I know I've heard you say, like, not, or allude to something like not be so dependent on the reaction of the woman that you've done your best or asked the right questions. But if someone wanted to know in a more deeper sense, like the science that Arash alluded to, that how can someone develop more resiliency and self-reliance, not be so dependent in a more deeper level, and not come across, because as I heard you say that women in the past, they can sense that or feelings, even though we might have the right lines and say the right things at the right moment, but if we're coming at a core level, a belief system that we are somewhat needy or somewhat desperate, that we're so dependent on the reaction, I just want to know how can we develop that in a more deeper sense, more self-reliant, more self-dependent, independent of the reaction of the woman, and more like self-love or self-approval in a belief deeper core sense. Thank you.
So you're looking for the science. Let me make sure I understand the question. The science of being less needy Is that what you're saying?
That's somewhat of it, yes. Or coming, or more in a deeper sense of coming from a core level. 1 second.
You are in New Mexico. We hear trains in background.
Did he go away? What happened?
Okay,
Maybe
yes.
muted.
Yeah, the science of, at a more deeper level, on a core level, coming from a place of total security, like self-love, self-approval, self-dependent, or independent of the reaction of the woman in a more deeper sense, because we can do all these lines and these motions at certain times and connections and go into whatever. But if we're coming from a deeper core level and being so dependent, how can we, in a deeper sense, develop more, I guess it's like self-love or self-approval and not be dependent emotionally?
Well,
I know.
Okay, the answer to your question is like one of those answers where if somebody understood it, it would help in every area of life. Basically, you're asking what's the signs of being totally secure with yourself, so that you don't give a shit what other person's opinion is, so that you don't break in the process. And I can give you pointers, okay, that can get you going on the way, but there's no way that that's going to be, I mean, it's a whole 7-8 day boot camp. Let's start with one thing. Do you recognize that you're going to die one day?
Yes.
I'm asking you, do you know you're going to die?
Yes.
Great. When you die, if you had the opportunity to look back on your life and remember all the moments when someone's opinion made you stop and not go for what you want, right? And shrink into yourself instead of express yourself truly as life. You know, life, we're not disconnected from life. I was having a conversation with somebody earlier today, and she was asking me something about confidence or whatever. I said, look, I'm no different than the sun, the moon, the lion, the turtle. Life expresses itself through me. And my impulses, you could say, right, my desires and impulses, I attribute to life wanting to further itself. And so I am a good vehicle or vessel for life to continue to prosper and get better. As I'm on this interview right now, what am I doing? I'm forwarding life ideas. So one way that you can start doing it is you take a look at your own intentions. You take a look at your own actions. And if you truly are a good person, if you truly are life-affirming, then that is the start. This is why I don't crash into myself. Because no matter what anybody says about me, I truly know where my intentions lie. I know where my ethics are. And I do know that as long as I stay true to that, I'll be just fine. It's the moment that internally a person violates their own code, right? And let me give you an example of this, which is interesting, okay? Because I deal with this on this level. Let me give you a woman interaction. Sometimes a woman will have a boyfriend, and she'll want to hook up with me. Then at the last second, wanting to hook up with me, she starts getting weird, right? Oh, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, cool. She thinks sometimes that by not hooking up with me, she's not violating her personal code. However, the reality is her boyfriend is disgusting. He's a piece of shit. He's a liar. He's destroying her life. And I am her opportunity to make a change in her decisions to go for something greater. So where she considers herself that tiny little woman in that tiny little life and doesn't see the bigger picture and that she needs to align herself with energy and life and beauty and power, which is who I am, she misunderstands. And I'm telling you that because one of the ways that you'll get blocked is by society's morals versus your own. You have to come up with your own ideas of what's right and wrong because you evaluate it and move forward. So that's my basic, that's the door. That's me opening the door for you on how you won't crash when somebody has a negative opinion of you. It will always be upsetting.
Well, we all heard how, like, good guys don't get laid, the nice guy, that's bullshit, you know. And there's songs, you know, by Billy Joel, the good guys don't lay.
It's not true. That's not true.
Well, it may not be 100%, but it seems like a lot of people, you know, a priest could be morally aligned and still never get laid.
No, let me tell you something. That's like saying good people don't make money. The reason why people don't make money is because they don't know how to make money. And the reason why men don't get laid is because they don't know how to get laid. That's what we teach. There's a difference. So the good guy you're talking about is the guy who pretends to be nice so he could fuck her. That's not a good guy. That's a liar. And the asshole, in quotes, is the guy who's like, bitch, you want to fuck or what? And she's like, ew, and then another bitch fucks him. So the difference is what you consider a good guy is actually a cowardice liar. And what you consider an asshole is actually telling the truth. So you have to reevaluate what you think. The good guy gets laid. I get laid more than any man you know, I guarantee. Guarantee. You don't even know. Sometimes I don't even know if I can continue.
Not more than Vince.
It's crazy. And I'm a very fucking good guy. Very good guy. All I do is help everybody around me. That's what I do. That's it. So it's not true the good guy doesn't get laid. It's that the good guy you're talking about is pretending to be good because he wants to fuck her. And I don't consider that good. I consider that a liar. Okay, that's my piece.
Wow. Arash, the last statement you made is something that I've had on, in my mind, and I've said many times, but it's the first time I've heard it verbalized by another human being, and that is very, 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 encouraging, rewarding. I'll pitch in, and we go back to the promise, the magic, and the real reality. Because, make no mistake, personally, I feel what I'm doing is holy work. Because first, a great exercise to know how much sex takes place on the planet is to walk around and look at every human being that you see, from the youngest to the oldest, men, women, anything in between, and all animals and all living creatures. And as you see them in your mind, you go, the product of sex, the product of sex, the product of sex, the product of sex, 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 sex. Without sex, there is no more life on this planet. And we need to put some order so it's done right in a way that doesn't hurt people and in a way that doesn't puzzle people. So that's why I think it's holy work. The second thing is it's much bigger than just sex and so on. I feel the universe is really smart and goes, let's put strong sex drive in men. So not only they will procreate, but they will seek. And if we go to a man or somebody that come to me and say, you want real spiritual mastery and truth in my 20s, I would have said, do I have to? But if you ask, do you want to get laid? Then we go, hell fucking yes. Okay, so it gives you the drive to seek and find deeper truth. And the deeper truth, you got to peel off the layers one by one. And that concept of the Trinity of the promise, that's not only for pickup. That's derived from society in general. There's always the promise, media, advertisement, quick fix. This will get you right. There's the also ancestry of people thinking that some were better than others. So ingrained, even though we're beyond that, it's no longer a monarchy, you know, there's still that sense that you got to get rid of. That, oh, maybe he got laid because of this, because of that, because no, there's a system and a strategy to everything. Now, if you want the magic, if you really want that sense of like you're independent, and at this point, I really am. I could walk around and hear, fuck you, weirdo. Any insult. I got insulted not too long ago by a woman that's dear to me, but it boosted me. It empowered me. It gave me life. It was a total rebirth. Her insult was magical to me. She intended an insult, but she worked a miracle by saying that. So how do you get there? I mean, I used to just misread every single possible fucking response, crave approval from men, from women, from everybody, as we all do, you know? So how do you get there? You need real reality. Real reality is there's not people who are really good and some who suck, There's just a protocol, like Rush said. People don't have money not because they're nice or they're not because they don't know the protocol. So the protocol to erase that sense of neediness, of dependence, and so on is number one, to understand real reality. Real reality is anything that is new to you, that you start, you are going to struggle with it. But it's not abnormal. It's absolutely normal. It's all of us. Nobody gets on a bicycle and start to just do jumps with it and whatever, and flips and so on. You fall. So the first thing you need to do is to be willing to suck at it, to struggle, to sweat, to be stirred, to be near giving up, to be bothered. And the more you understand it's normal, because if you think it's abnormal, then you seek at the wrong place. You think there's a problem with me, and you constantly elude yourself hoping for a magic pill and so on. The magic pill is to understand that's normal, and we all go through it. And I mean, if we had filmed me in my early days of pickup, it was fucking hilarious. Girls nearly running away and me going, hey, how are we going to be in touch? But I didn't mind because I understood it's normal. I didn't buy into the false model of you either got it or you don't and so on. If you have a gift that others don't have, or you don't have a gift initially that others have, you have the equal gift somewhere else. That's why James Marshall comes in and he hardly talks and he makes it happen. I come in and people line up sometimes. One thing that disrupts some of my pickup, I got to pull girls away, is a crowd gathers around it. But then I turn it into mass pickup because it's so fucking funny. It's so crazy. Okay? So his gift is like silent power. My gift is like talking power. But we both do it. Once you go through that struggle thing, you got to understand that because of diversity and variety, it's never going to be just one thing. But you can find the one attitude that helps you with the many things. There's more, but I'll keep it there. I finish this sentence, and then I pass it back. But here's what I mean. A buddy of mine, who is pretty much the new Brad Pitt, well, biggest celebrity, and I don't want to mention his name because I know him from a circle that keeps privacy, once told me, Vince, here's what it's like to be famous. You sit in an airplane, and behind you there's three people, and you ask them, what do you think of so-and-so? One person will be, that asshole, fuck him. Like a lot of people say that about Paris Hilton or different celebrities. Then one person will go, who? What? And the next person is going to be third person, go, oh my God, I love their stuff. It's not always 1, 2, 3 out of 3. It's a little bit more random, but my own experience, it rarely goes unless you're in a very unique, specific location, or you've really established yourself in a certain way, and if you're among your peers, the people who love you, or you're amongst the people who hate you, then it won't go beyond 3. So watch my little video today and see how there's a flow. If I had first taken literally the responses of the dumbass chicks that didn't even, I'm funny. I had a little thing, a fan that I got at the store, and it was hot in LA, so I would tell people, here, it's a hot day. We decided to give freely. And some would laugh, some would just pass straight through, some wouldn't even know I was doing that. If I had stopped there, I would have been fucked. Then came the first little sign of, okay, a little more participation, but they had no potential. And eventually came a little pearl. And what followed after that, which was really funny, because I stopped filming and I wish I had not, and a client was with me and will know. Right after that little pearl that says, oh, I have a boyfriend, and I'm not a prick, they live in the building. Last thing I know is to go break a couple in my building. But who knows? And then in the elevator was another girl, and the other girl was totally into me. But I wasn't filming anymore, and it was inside my building. I didn't want to film inside my building. I will ask maybe for Rash, one thing that really helped me recently, because there's always another level, to really solidify that. That was the final touch of being totally independent of people's responses. I don't know the name of it, but a Rash not too long ago, you put a video, I don't know if it's a vintage one or a recent one, where you talk about how you don't need people who don't like you and so on. And that video is so impactful. I wish for everybody on this call to see it. So maybe in Beyond the Game, it could be reposted. I pass it to the next question right now, guys. And we'll do our best with the next turn to give like shorter answers so we keep it balanced. What's the next question, gentlemen?
Thank you, Vince. I really appreciate it. Extremely helpful, and I think you made more.
Hey guys,
Okay.
yeah, this is Chris from Florida, and I got 2 questions. One about one of my girlfriends is dealing with some jealousy, and I don't really know what to tell her how to deal with it. She's in on the lifestyle, and she just wanted some advice. Actually, she suggested that I ask you guys about, what do you do when maybe one of your girls is getting in a type of emotional state that is maybe affecting their happiness throughout the day. And second question is, I'm attending the Global SLR. Most of my day when I get home at night is, spending doing work trying to improve my business. I have a job during the day, and so my gaming occurs just throughout the day. But I know the Global SLR is like downtown Hollywood, and I'm wondering what's the best way I could prepare. Like I'm 90% that I'm going to Vancouver boot camp with Aikido. So other than that, so preparation, and then question 1 was, girl is jealous, and what advice do you have for her and me?
Okay, well, obviously I'm with multiple women in my life, and let me give you a few pointers. First thing is, here's how I feel about women being jealous. There's levels of jealousy. There has to be a little bit of jealousy that she knows that you're desired by other women, and so she feels slightly like, oh man, I don't want to lose him. That's healthy, and it needs to be there. If she doesn't have that, I have an issue with that, right? It's when it amplifies and it starts to become destructive, I have an issue. Now the question is, okay, hold on. The question is, let me answer this, okay? The question is, would she be jealous and try to stop her favorite celebrity, let's say, classic fucking good-looking guy like Channing Tatum or Brad Pitt or whatever, right? She had a chance to be with him, and she knew he was going to be with his girlfriend or other girls. Would she let her jealousy get to the point where he says to her, forget it, bitch, you can leave because I got 100 other girls? And the reality is, she would not. She would control herself because she wouldn't want to lose him. You know why? Because he has so much value that she'll calm the fuck down. So when a woman is acting up on that level, it's because the guy has not demonstrated enough value. That's really the bottom line to me. Now, it doesn't mean sometimes my girls won't try here and there, but hey, they know right away. The only thing they can do is get rid of themselves. They cannot get rid of another girl in my life. It's never going to happen. Do you get the difference? So whoever acts up is on their way out of my life. As with the president of the world, do the same thing. An emperor would do that. A conqueror would do that. A high-level celebrity should do that. A lot of those guys are bitches anyways. But I'm just saying, at the ideal level, if your value is high, so high, she'll control herself. If she's testing you, it's because she thinks that you're lucky to be with her. You see that? She can do better. So if she thinks that, then she'll keep challenging you and try to make you pick. There is no picking here. The only one I'll pick, anybody ever gets jealous, the rule is I always pick the person who's not jealous. That's how it goes. That's in my life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. I want to play the tour guide. I think it's an essential element based on what we said at the beginning, that I listened to Arash and it's like instantaneous healing. And I'm just going to pause for a second and tell you, gentlemen, as an expert in the field, the answer you just heard is just so fucking awesome, right on, phenomenal. And it's easy, if you're in a city, let's say I went to Rome once to see the ruins, and you could easily pass, or I visited many places. My family was always into like monuments and masterpieces and so on, and the Louvre and so on. you can just pass by. Yeah, they're in Milano right now at the World Exhibit. But
Ciao, bello.
it's easy to just pass by and not know what you're witnessing. So pause, especially if you listen afterwards, and then maybe even rewind and hear it again. I love that. And there's also the element, I think, at a higher level where we're talking soul level. Arash mentioned we're all going to die, but that death is just the beginning of something else. So in that bigger picture, I think there is a contract somewhere, something, and everybody whomever meets anyone, they can either take each other down or they can lift each other, and sometimes one will be lifted and the other one goes down. When one really goes up, they never put the other one down. Genuinely, it's the other person that doesn't rise with them. So I have this thing that whatever women will do around me, even if they're 100% at fault, I always like to ask myself, which leads back to the answer of Arash, what is the mindset, what is the way of processing this, of being that would cancel this immediately, you know? So, because they are still doing that to some degree for something we're radiating, we're doing at some point. So, that's what I want to say. So, simple answer is utilize, and don't explain. I think one key ingredient to raise it to the level of that Arash is talking about is never justify and never try to explain and never try to make it easier for them, because then you're just buying into the shit. If they are jealous, just, you know what, and sometimes you also got to know your time is so important that you got to raise the bar so it's like it breaks or it gets phenomenal. So she goes, yeah, I cannot believe it, you were looking at this girl. Yes, I was. And it was enjoyable. But who I am with right now? You. And now she could go, you're a fucking asshole, and that's the test of truth. And she bails. But now, that's phenomenal. It was like you were investing in the wrong stock. Or she goes, I get it. And then you raise the bar until she has no choice but be okay with it. Before the next question, a quick update for everybody's coming. And since you were asking how to best prepare. To best prepare, two quick things come to mind, Chris. Number one, close the gap. It's awesome that you're asking, how do I best prepare? You're on the call tonight, so you are preparing. What you do if you have very little time during the day, I do 1 hour a day plus everything in between. And if I don't have 1 hour, I do 10 minutes. If I don't have 10 minutes, I do 5 minutes. But here's the key thing. I stated it before, okay? You got to make sure that every day you give it your very best. Now, some days it may not seem as significant as the day before because maybe you are tired or something, but it's still the same effort. And every day you make that a little bit greater and move in the direction of what's not easy. Move in the direction of what's not easy. And move in the direction of what's not easy easily. So, for example, this afternoon, we saw the most stunning-looking woman, speaking of celebrities, she probably was, walking super fast on the other side of the street. I don't chase. I let them come to me. But right there, I noticed, I was like, wow, look at this one. A good one for me. So I didn't chase her 3 blocks because she was going too fast and I had places to be at, but I took a step in there. That was not the easiest step. The easiest step would have been to turn around and to talk to the good-looking women that were right there. And that was for me at that time. For you, it might be different. Okay? And then organize it. Draw a circle. Divide it in 4. And the 4 things that you need is you need information input. So really listen to the podcast. Yeah, I believe you VIP, so you got all the downloads. Bombard your mind and do it while you're doing other things. Okay? Now, if you do that steadily for a couple of days or a couple hours or a few minutes, then your next chunk is put yourself out there with women and no attachment and take it as a drill. The next chunk after that, you got to clear. You got to cleanse. You got to let go. Peel off the layers. So do any form of, I think you do yoga, so that's good. Do that. It will help you for your practice, but do it with the awareness of what you are doing. And then the last chunk is celebrate, enjoy, be there, dress at your best, and don't only make it be about practice. Make it be about, wow, what a fun night that was. And you rotate those 4, and you're doing it. Quick announcement and updates. So we're bringing a few other people. The first one, I announced him last week, is the famous celebrity vocal coach Bob Korf, to train you vocally, tonality, volume, body language. He's the best of the best at what he does. It's a privilege to have him. Next, we're bringing people that are not globally known, and they know where they're at, but they are people that we're bringing them so you can relate. The first gentleman we're bringing is Dr. Scott, and it's not the Dr. Scott from a couple of years back. He's a dear friend of mine. And this gentleman, when we started working together, he's a gentleman, he's a professional, he's not the type that would probably go like every night, nightclubs and so on, but he comes in fully equipped of having worked with Indian gurus on sacred mantras, and his mindset is so open, so free that he gets it. So if you want a shortcut also, you got to have work like that. So he's coming in, and, you go to someone who would be kind of in a position that he is in life, and you present principle of 7 night 6 and so on, good luck. You present that to him, it's within reach without doing the crazy nightclub lifestyle entourage, pink hair, or any of that. So that's why we bring him. And also, you may have seen pictures. I will post pictures of him. He got thrown in a situation where 4 super hotties, crazy Hollywood chicks were right there. Had he not had that openness, that just receptivity, within seconds they would have bailed. They stayed. So we're bringing him to help you with that. He's going to do remote work. He's going to have a little booth to work one-on-one with you guys, and he's going to be part of the healing sessions with James Hyman and so on. I'll announce the other 2 guys that we're bringing after the next question. Okay? So I want to pass it back to Arash because I'm eager to hear what he has to say next, and I'm taking notes on my side, gentlemen. I've learned that from Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins, who were in Hawaii, he just kicked ass. Suddenly, Deepak Chopra comes on stage and Colin Powell. And I'm thinking, okay, Tony just spoke. He's probably backstage resting and so on. No, suddenly, who do I see? Like almost front row with a journal taking notes. Fucking Tony Robbins. and Tony could teach a lot of things to Deepak, but he was so smart. He was, I want what Deepak got. And he took more notes probably than anybody else. Then he could explain Deepak better than anybody else. So take notes. Be a true student. Next question. Third person that didn't get to ask.
This is Paul from San Francisco. If no one else had the question, I could go ahead.
Yeah, Paul, we're going to see you this weekend. Make it, spread the word. And heads up, I'm also doing a 4-hour for those who are in my yearly program. So you're invited to that as well. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks for letting me know. Quick question. What to do if one of your friends accuses you of being a player? And I did respond to it, but so I can give you my response. But just wondering the best way of handling it.
Ask the question again. I missed it.
What to do if one of your friends accuses you of being a player?
I am a player. I'm the number 1 player on the planet. I hope they accuse me of being a player. So I don't have a problem with that because I'm a player. I'm not a liar. You know what I mean? So if you're a player, you're a player. If you're not a player, then it's like any other lie about you. You know what I mean? You treat it as any other bullshit rumor. Or if you are a player, then you're a player. But don't be something you're ashamed of.
Yeah, I just replied. It was by text. I just did player ? She's not giving me the time of day. That's all I said.
He is
Maybe
lying.
I value by it.
You're talking about your guy friend is calling you a player? Is that what you're saying?
Well, a mutual friend between the 2 of us.
It's a man or a woman?
Actually, a man, yeah.
Are you homosexual?
No.
Okay. So a mutual friend, supposedly friend, I say, is calling you a player in a negative way. And I'm asking you, are you a player or not?
Gee, that's a good question. Compared to you guys, no.
Okay. Well, not compared to us. In your own world, are you a player or not?
No.
Okay, well, if you're not a player, then you treat it just like any other rumor. So let's change the question. Let's change what he's saying from you calling you a player, and let's say he says you're a cheater, you're a liar, you're a thief. Anything that's not true about you. How would you handle that? How would you handle any statement that wasn't true about you?
I guess I'd say that's false. That's not true. It depends on the context.
Right. So if what he's saying is not true, then I treat it like it's not true. If it's true, I don't have a problem with it. That's the way I go about it. Vince?
Okay, yeah, that keeps it real.
You're bringing up something else, Paul. I'm seeing you this weekend, and it's a chance to have a major breakthrough, and you will be there. You will get to meet Arash face-to-face. So be prepared. Watch, because if for quite some time, with anything you learn in life, you've been under the impression that it's not there, you become very good at seeking, and seeking is good, but if you only seek, the answers will elude you. Because I think that question was already answered with the prior answer that Arash mentioned. And it was answered also many times when I told you are there to test women. So to no longer just be the seeker, you want to keep the element of seeking. You want to seek for a lifetime. But if that's all you do, you'll never find. So you also need to constantly pause and say, those guys know what they're talking about. Even though they don't know my question, what answers to my question have already been said. You got to be also the finder. And to find, you need to apply yourself. That brings it back to the first point Arash made. We're starting to notice a group of people that put the time, the money, they honor themselves and us in the process, but they also put the presence of mind. I'm here not only to seek, I'm here to find. And in order to find, I cannot only rely on the presenter, because they give. I need to apply myself. And you need to ask yourself, what are all the answers I've already heard on all those calls that applies to that? Okay? So make sure you do that. And the other thing is, social circle game is great, but you got to know when and how. When you have serious jobs and you paid your dues, that's when you come back. A lot of bands, they don't get good in their hometown. They go on the road, they play all the little cities around, and then they come back in their hometown, and that's when they get the respect. So you are doing too much social circle stuff, and because people knew you a certain way and they see you grow and you're not there completely, they question you. So don't shit where you eat, don't do too much at home, be more cautious, and don't do too much. You can come back, and after that, you can do it in front of people. In my building, people know what I do, and I openly say, watch out, you know what I'm going to do, you know what I do. So if anybody's got a problem with it, just tell me straight up, okay? The second person that we are bringing, it's a gentleman who has paid his due as a PUA. Really, 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 really good. But he's also came to this place where now he decided to be engaged, and everybody's got their own choices. So, and now he's also a hypnotherapist, a very talented one. So he's a very, very good add-on. He will be there also with those people. Will be almost like, in the room, walking around, infield with you on the panels. So I'm talking about Adam Goodman from San Diego, and he is really dedicated. We're going to put his bio and everything. So he will be there. We want a lot of healers, a lot of change workers, and we want everyone in the room to be able to go, oh, yeah, that's what I want, and so on. So the legends will give you all that you need, the foundation, and then we'll have like helpers around the room that are very talented at what they do to fine-tune and help you assess where you fit in all of that. So it's an honor to have him on board, and many more are coming. We take one more question before we take it, and then I'll announce the final person. At this point, the Global SLR is such a wonderful venture that's coming together so beautifully, and there's such a synchronistic effect. The right people are coming, people want to support, people are pitching in, people are bringing their own talent and so on. It's more than just we organize and you come. It's just like a group effort. So we invite you. Consider yourself on board with us. If you're already in, spread the word. Let people know. Anybody who's already on board, we're going to give you a chance to invite a friend at a general admission at the price that you paid. So that's coming up. Anybody who's not on board yet, this is a genuine invitation. We welcome you. We encourage you. There are a couple of reasons why you're not on board yet. One, you haven't really realized how important this is, how vital it is, and how your balls are going to bother you for the rest of your life. And then they're going to age, and it's not going to be easier. So handle it now, because it will come in the way or help everything else. Okay? There was a movie, a colleague of mine, Al and Marilyn Sargent, who were the founders of hemispheric therapy. They were in a movie, a documentary about different choices that people can make in terms of intimacy. I believe it was called Intimacy. And one of the characters was a man that never really had anyone for his whole life. And he died before the end of the filming. And the guy was so fucking bitter. And he was a successful man. But here you heard that 90-year-old who was just so bitter. And he was still upset at a preschool, elementary school teacher that he had a crush on. Probably like 95 years or 80 years after, he was still upset at that first exposure to a woman because he never did the fucking work. The second reason is you don't have a clear understanding of what we're doing. You're thinking, okay, lecture, maybe I can see it online. Bullshit. This is a journey. It's an adventure. It's multidimensional. We're going to take you up, down, right, left.
Oh, no.
All will be offered. There's healers, there's entertainers, there's the legends, there's stars, there's workshops, it's all format, boot camps, and so on. The final one is you don't recognize the value, and you guys, we hear you in the background, and you bullshit yourself, and you don't have the right relationship with money yet, and then contact us. We'll help you with that if you're committed to be it. Okay? So globalslr.com, the new site will be up within 3 days with the new lineup. For now, you will find all the info and the general admission a whole weekend. It's $169, but it's going up. So jump on the $169 tickets. Anyone, just to show commitment, anyone who's on the line tonight, who's not registered, you go to the site, you read if you need more info, and you register before the end of tonight. What I'm going to do, we're re-releasing, it's the 13th print of my bestseller, Same Night Sex, and there's an audio version that comes with it. General admission that acts tonight from this call, email me, Vince at seductioncoaching.com. We'll throw in the book and the audio version. Okay? One last question.
Vince, number one player on the planet.
Huh?
Vince, number one player on the planet.
Thank you. And who is this?
Armando from New Mexico.
Armando, all right. What can we do for you? One more thing for you, Armando, tonight.
Oh, I did have a question. I just wanted to make a statement that you are number one player on the planet because someone had made a question earlier.
I'd ask that question. I've got a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, backtrack. Thank you for the thing. I like to ground it and also go, I'm a simple man, and I'm a wounded healer. Hear those words. Wounded healer.
Respect.
I fucked up more. I struggled more. I messed up more than most, and that's how you get really good. So, wounded healer. Okay?
Badass.
Thank you. Thank you.
Question.
Yes. This is Solomon from Denver, Colorado. So I recently I've been in a relationship with a girl. I think she's, to me, she's amazing. I don't, if she were to leave, tomorrow, of course my feelings would be kind of hurt, but I'll be able to get over her. But I'm noticing that, like I have her like very emotionally invested in me, and I like the way that we communicate, and I like the way that she communicates to me. Now, like, I would say that we have very intimate communication and a deepness about it, and I would like to have multiple women in my life, and I'm wondering how I can keep creating this same intimacy and the same deepness with other women that may just be friends, or women that I'm just meeting or approaching in the street.
Okay. Well, I want you to look through my mind for just a second, okay? I think it's absolutely wrong for a man to be with just one woman, okay? I think it's a sin, because it destroys the man, and it destroys the woman, and destroys the relationship. It destroys their child, because their child's growing up, man or a woman. If it's a boy, has to grow up and take the sin of the father, which is the boy will now have to see, oh, well, I guess it's just mom and dad, and that's the way it's supposed to be, and they're supposed to fight with each other all the time. And if it's a daughter, she's got the false impression that she's going to get with a man who's never going to cheat on her. So it's a sin, because it's against nature. Anything against nature like that ends up being a sin. And so the question never arrives in my mind, how do I get a woman to be okay with me being with other women? Okay? The question is different. The question is whether or not the woman you're with is mature enough, intelligent enough, and can see herself in your future, because you have so much value that her life without you would be meaningless. And if that's not the woman, two things have to happen. One, you got to bring yourself to that level of value. And two, you got to go find the women who can understand that. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. So, for example, if a woman ever says to me, something like this, you know what? I don't let people talk to me like that, because I'm a grown woman. At that very moment, I will never, ever, for the rest of my life, have anything to do with her. Ever. If a woman ever says to me anything like this, she ever says anything like this, like, well, men and women are equal, so blah, blah, blah. I will never, ever, ever, for the rest of my life, have one thing to say to her again. I'm done with her. Because these are warning signs that she's absolutely insane. You understand that? She's absolutely fucking batshit crazy. And so, in my life, it's not a matter of how am I going to tell my girlfriends that I'm going to choose other girls. It's that that's actually what life is. And anybody who wants to open their eyes can see that. And so I have to keep working on my value, making myself more and more valuable as a man so that I can compete with the highest level men on the planet. And secondly, go around and find women who are intelligent enough to see what that is. And give me one woman like that, and I can take over the world with her. I happen to have a lot more than one. But all I need is one fucking woman to understand that. And that's not difficult to do. But you guys are wasting your time with a bunch of immature little fucking girls. Just go on, find somebody else, and then that bitch will come around again. And then don't let her come around. It's too late. You see, you have to have more respect for yourself. That bitch is not going to be around. I don't know her and I don't know you. But if I was going to bet every dollar I have, I would say that in 5 years you and her are not going to be together. I won't take that bet with anybody. In 5 years you won't be together. Knowing that, why in the world would you invest your life and your future into a failing business or a failing relationship? Never, ever. It doesn't matter how nice she is right now. It doesn't matter how great your communication is. All of that is happening because of you, not because of her. Because a woman is effect, not cause. The man is cause. Man is yang. Woman is yin. Male energy, female energy. She's receptive. She takes your dick in her. You shoot life inside of her. She just takes it. She does nothing with that. She just takes it. So don't get confused. She has very little value in life. Very little value. Her value is in her vagina, her tits, and her lips. Outside of that, the only other value she could ever have to you is if she could align her energy with yours so that you can together create something enormous. And I'm speaking from experience. If you fuck a woman and she gets pregnant, it's because of you giving her life that she then incubates the life form. Same thing. When I give my life energy, not necessarily my dick, but my life energy to a woman, and she incubates it properly, then what we have is the number one women's fitness center in the world, Selective Instinct, and any other goddamn thing I put my hands on, because women work for me. But the energy has to be, I give them life, she takes my life, she goes and she protects it, and then she does something with it, and we have a new creation. The woman by herself cannot create anything. If she does, she'll destroy it. It's not my say, it's God or whoever put man or woman here. She's a destructive force on planet Earth, okay? Now, maybe that's kind of harsh, but I think it's more harsh to go another 5-6 years, marry that bitch, have her get fucking pregnant, take half of your shit, and then destroy your life because you're fucking fucked up over some stupid whore who couldn't have loyalty to her own mother. She couldn't have loyalty to her own fucking mother. And if you ever doubt that, then go in there around women. They leave their families to go with a guy. They give up their name to take on a man's name. Have you ever thought about that? Okay? Have you ever thought they give their fucking name up? In an instant, I fell in love. Oh my God, I'm going to be Smith now. I was Jones, now I'm Smith. That's the extent of a woman's loyalty. Okay? So don't get confused. That's why it's called the game. Because when you understand the rules of the game, you'll know how to go around the board. There will be little pitfalls, right? You roll the dice wrong sometimes. You get 2 ones and you go to jail for a little bit, you come out. But overall, you will win the game. And that's what you're just seeing in my life, is that I got the rules down, and I play this shit real well. I don't get fucked up on it because I've been fucked up in it before. I know what it's like to invest 7.5 years into some bitch and then have her leave. I know what it's like to give everything to a woman and have a child spraying me. I know what it's like. And that shit is never going to happen again. Okay? Make the mistake once, not twice, and you'll always evolve. So that's the difference. You speak too highly of some little bitch, and she is a little bitch. She will backstab you in an instant for the right man. She has zero loyalty to you right now. Because if you have to question, how do you tell her you're going to be with other women, then you know that she might leave. Because there should be 100% certainty, as I have. As I tell the whole world, I have 5 girlfriends. I hook up with whoever woman I want to hook up with, and that's the way things are, period. And I don't have friends that are girls. Why? Because it's not natural, okay? If a girl is my friend, she can expect us to hook up or she can get the fuck out of the door, period. I don't have time to give my life and my energy to some bitch who's only going to take and won't even spread her fucking legs. Fuck that. That's the difference here. So get in the right frame of mind, and you'll see that then you become a man finally.
Okay.
No, I know you're okay. There you go. You're yelling.
All right, for sure. For sure.
And that is so true. And I bring to your awareness a couple things as well. The first thing is codependence and mother issues. Women have daddy issues, you know. They use men to solve those daddy issues, you know. But us, men, we need to honor the mother, but also separate from her. Because if you go into it thinking, oh, I have good connection and so on, it's because you don't realize that you come on this planet by yourself and you will leave by yourself. And in the middle, if you seek to get that sense within of you from others, you're lying to yourself, because it's not the woman that's the trigger of those things. She's a way in which you can feel and express them, but it's you. So you got to find those things within you, otherwise you're heading for codependence. The worst form of codependence ever was Sid and Nancy. They killed each other. They destroyed each other because they were seeking. It's like an addiction. So what you want to realize is everything that you experience in the presence of other people is a reminder of something that you have within. So to easily let go, the first thing you got to do is to honor the needs within. Of course, you with the woman, you feel safe. So then honor a sense of safety by yourself by kicking ass as a man. And every day that you do better and take care of your affairs, you will realize, I'm safe. I don't need a woman to hold my hand. I don't need my mother to hold my hand. And you honor the mother for her labor.
How do you get to that
The
point?
woman too. The next thing that you do, but there you just kick ass. We've said it time and time again. The formula is every day you do everything to the best of your ability within reason, and you got to be honest and sincere. The ultimate test, if one day you, I cannot, you go, okay, let's change the scenario right now. The city is under attack. In this day and age, war is pretty fucking and imagine it's in the future. It's robots, like in movies. And you got to survive. And in order to survive, you got to do some things that normally every day you say, no, I cannot. For example, guys will say, oh, I'm more introverted. I cannot speak loud. And let's say the only way you can survive by screaming because there's some allies that are right there and they can turn around, hear you, and destroy the robot. In that moment, would you maintain, no, I cannot? I'm sorry, this is just the way I talk. You would scream so fucking loud, you'd probably be louder than the loudest you ever heard. So that's how you know when it's really something you cannot do or the full extent of what you can do. And then every day you increase, you apply yourself. Otherwise, you're decreasing. Connection, you connect with something that's greater than you. You join a group, but you find it within you. That's your chance to connect within yourself. And when you're truly connected, your value is phenomenal because basically what you're saying is, I don't need anyone. I can have everyone because I don't need anyone. Okay? So that's the direction. That's what you got to do. And we bring it full circle. Full circle. Really hear this. One distinction tonight on my side was don't only be the seeker, be the finder. So many answers were given in this podcast. If you're on a private island and you got to survive, and let's say there's women, but the only source of improvement you would have would be this recording from tonight, or maybe just one answer from Arash. And that's the only thing you have, so you hold on to it with everything you have. You really listen, and you cannot listen to anything else. You would survive and succeed because all the answers are here. Continue to seek, but find at the same time. So listen, here, we already stated it. The message keeps on reoccurring. And it's a message that's a universal truth. The other thing that we said is come from this place of testing women. Watch my video today. The newbie, the hater, the loser is going to go, oh, the girl didn't even turn around. But that is the wrong frame of mind. I'm testing them. And when you're in a relationship, it's okay for a brief moment. But you got to know how to pull out or raise the fucking bar, as Arash explained, until you got the people that are right, you're the right person, and then it's back to how it's supposed to be. Okay? So because if one woman was supposed to be with one man, and let's say this woman cannot get pregnant, and many people cannot, then there would be a decrease in population, and there would be eventually an extinction. So the last thing is, so you're in a relationship, it's a test. It's constantly a test of, is she the right candidate? And then you realize, and you can still appreciate, and you can cherish, but at the same time, you got to raise the bar. Okay, gentlemen, thank you, Arash. You know, a lot of the things that I'm starting to share, you can tell. I'm a teacher, and I'm also a student, and I listen well, and it's really, really impacting me so powerfully, and hopefully vice versa. At the same time, the Global SLR, it's a very genuine invitation at this point. You know, the speaker presence, the people involved, even the venue. You know, I shot so much around for venues in Hollywood, and they were like, no, what are you guys doing there? They've been so hopeful. They're working so hard to make it be the phenomenal event. So if you recognize yourself as being a person like that, if you're sincere about your progress, if you're not so needy. The other day, a guy called me, and if he's on the phone, no offense, dude, But he called me. He said, Vince Kelvin, I want to work for you. I was like, all right, why not? Yeah, I want to coach. And then I go, how are you doing with women? Oh, I go, all right, and so on. And then I tell him about my trainer's training, and the tab is just like my colleagues go, raise your fucking tab, Vince. You're giving a trainer's training like for a fragment. And I tell him, and he goes, oh, I thought we could just hang out. Yeah, right. I'm going to work 20 years to have a guy by my side who just wants to hang out. That's the most he can offer. And he has the pretense to think he can help women, help men have women with that. So make no mistake, bring some lights in there. The answer is in your behavior towards the learning. You're not getting women because you're not getting it how it is that you get the learning. You know, we got to go back to old school. We got to go back to the teacher is on top of a mountain. And the first thing you got to do is you got to fucking climb that mountain. And when you arrive up there, he may not be there or ready to teach. But it's the climbing of the mountain that is the biggest part of the lesson. And it's not a fucking mountain that we're asking you to climb. It's just a quick look at your calendar, a quick look at the site, a rapid decision because you're fed up with women who go like, I don't know, and they take 3 weeks to tell you maybe we can just be friends when they could have said that straight up, but they're not even honest enough to say it. So don't do that to yourself, and don't do that to the few who take a stand and say, let's make this thing better. We're going to share our journey. You know, at this point, I have so much wealth of knowledge. I'm my own individual, like me or not, but it's just a rush same thing. We cannot keep it for ourselves. It's pouring, but you got to bring a cup, and your cup is register. If you don't get that, that's fine. Don't bother. Don't even go look at the site because so many people have worked on that site throughout the night and help and so on the rush side. And that's it'd be an offense to the artist that worked on the site to go look at it and not even fucking know what you're looking at it. Okay, gentlemen?
Vince
We're
has
on
the
again
better and
next
best
week.
question.
And,
Vince has the better and best questions, answers.
Yeah, you're
Vince?
receptive. I would say you are receptive. And I tell you what, personally here, I feel my role tonight was more of that of a student because I've learned so much from Arash, and his answer are further and deeper. And so I'm honest, you know. I love my answers, but honestly, right there. And here's a little secret. Watch my video from last night, the synchronistic aspect of life. Everything that was brought up during this call tonight is something that I'm sharpening up and that I'm facing at a high stake level. So there's no mistake. Everyone present here, we're all at the right place. Just honor the hierarchy and honor the effort. And if you want to say, oh, I'm better than those guys, then really do it even better than us. But it's going to take a lot of hard motherfucking work and dedication and saying no to other things. No to other things. You know, I said no time and time again to women who came in the way of my teaching. When we say bros before hoes, it's always been, for me, teaching before anything. I will deny, if I had to be a monk to continue to teach and never once again in my life dip my dick into pussy for the continuity of the afterlife, I would make that choice. But it doesn't have to be that way. And the more I dip it, the more I can give distinctions. All right? So you guys are awesome.
Vince has
love
the
you
better
love you
answers.
very much. And you got to start to also fucking love yourself a lot more than that. The third guest, the journey is long. And when you're young, you look back at the elder. And if only you could take the wisdom of the elder and the vitality of the younger. So, I'm bringing a prodigy, a guy. He's young, you know, but he's kind of a leader amongst his age bracket. If you're a student and so on, he just released a video of a pool at UCLA. Kevin is coming, and he's going to help and be kind of the voice of the 20-year-old and so on. And he's been very real gentleman in understanding. We've been at it for years, and we've opened the door to him. So he will be there also to help in field. He came with us on Friday night, and he's got some chops. I love the guy. So anyway, globalslr.com. Utmost respect to Arash Divazar. Thank you for the time. And Saturday, 1:30 p.m. in San Francisco, 3 hours sharp. You need to RSVP. It's free, and we will announce the location. Most likely, it's one of the major hotels in the center. If you're part of my long-term program, we're going to do some hardcore sexualization and sex magic as well. And then there's a very exclusive second one on Sunday at Arash's place, but there it's more exclusive to be there. We are going to screen first who's coming for that one. And San Francisco show up in force, because here's what we're doing. This is not only just one talk. You have a strong community. You're very bright men. I have an article about stuff we did, and I love working with the guys in the Bay Area. We want to rebuild the community because you're bright. There's really a level of intelligence and awareness in that area that people don't have time for hate. But there's comfort, and you need to hustle a little bit more. So spread the word. Let's rebuild and outperform the community. I've done talks in the past in San Francisco. There were some solid groups. Now let's unify and let's really make things happen there, because it's the center of technological advancement, and it needs to also be the center of more. Okay, so
Vince is number one.
Thank you for saying that. You're making me blush. It's gonna get to my fucking head. I live in a reality where number one is great for appeal, but I see 3 there and 3 there and 3 there, and I see 3. I don't see 3-1, 3-2, or 3-3. How's that for the beginning of a trance?
Can't
Okay,
understand
we'll
what you say.
this. Blessings, guys. globalslr.com.
I'll be there.
Is that it?
Yeah, Vince number one. That guy Arash, I don't know, he's a little extreme.
Arash?
Iraq, whatever his name is.
Yeah, it was kind of powerful.
Yeah, well, he's a little psycho a little bit. I think he's a little bit over the top.
I like it.
Well, I don't think he gets way more than Vince. Vince gets 3 times more women he ever gets. And you never know what kind of women he gets. You probably get ugly bitches. They might be fat, ugly. You know what I'm saying?
Your mom's fat and ugly. Your mom's fat and ugly.
So is yours.
Huh?
So are you.
What?
So is yours.
Hey, man.
Who's this?
Arash is the best. You
Arash
have not
is the
even
worst.
seen his women. You have not seen his women. You don't know him. You don't know shit about him.
This is better.
If you think that you're so much better, then you should put your report out there. Don't talk shit about Arash.
I'm not
No,
saying
don't
I'm
come
better.
on
This
call
is better.
and you just go get your own. You get your own Skype call.
Listen, dude.
Hey, who
why
the
don't you
fuck
just,
is this talking shit?
You started
About
talking
Arash.
shit about Arash.
Who the fuck is on this line talking shit about Arash?
The guy that just stalked you, and
Vince
he was
is
like,
number one.
absolutely, they're both number one.
Vince is number one.
Both number one. The fuck
It
out of
doesn't matter who's number one. It doesn't.
Vince is the number one. Vince is number one player on the planet.
You don't get it. It doesn't matter. Yeah, take and receive.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. My name is Almadi. Is everyone still on the call?
I think they're leaving. Yeah, but it's over, dude.
Oh, everything just ended?
Yeah.
Shit, okay. I'm on East Coast. I mistimed it.
All right, man. I'm on Central. All right, bye.
Vince is #1 player on the planet.
How do you know that? How do you know that?